Let's say you have a Maple Systems HMI plus PLC Combo Unit, but you want to use it to control a VFD. In this video, I'll show you how to wire and configure your VFD for Modbus communications, how to set up an HMC unit for controlling a VFD, and finally, I'll show you a live demo of the two of them working in tandem. Hi, I'm Alex with Maple Systems, and welcome to another Maple Systems video training series. To follow along with this tutorial, you'll need a free install of Mapware 7000 from our website, any Maple Systems HMC unit, which I'll be using a 4070 for this example, and any VFD that can communicate over a Modbus connection. I'll be using a Yaskawa GA500 for my tutorial. To start, I'm going to go over my VFD wiring for a serial connection. So I'm going to start by popping this boy open, and we'll take a look at the wiring here. So first things first, you'll notice that I have the red lead here going down to power supply down here, and I have the black lead for the power supply going up here to AC. This is just going to provide 24 volts going in to power the board without needing to wire the full main circuit power. I have the serial cable, which is this little braided cable I made out of wires here. So we have green coming out of AC, that's going to be our grounding cable. We have blue coming out of D plus and yellow coming out of D minus. And so on the other end of this braided cable here, I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the HMC just so we can demonstrate what this looks like on the HMC side. So as you can see, we have green to ground on both ends. The blue cable, which is coming from D plus over here on the VFD, is plugged into both TX and RX plus on the HMC side. I have it plugged into RX plus and jumped over to TX plus. Same thing with the minus. We have D minus coming from the yellow over here on the VFD, and that's going into RX and TX minus, jumpered over with this little yellow jumper. This is how you would wire an HMC for an RS-485 serial communication. And you would also configure this guy on the software end to assign certain functions to Modbus addresses. I've already done this on this VFD, and I'm not going to go into intense detail on how to do it on this specific Yaskawa. If you would like more details on that, I would recommend checking out the written version of this guide on maplesystems.com. I have a link in the description, but generally, the Modbus addresses are going to be following this table that I'm going to show on screen. Now we'll want to set up our HMC. I'm going to use this sample project from our website since it has all of the screen objects set up for me, as well as all of the tags I'll be using to control this VFD. Again, you can download this project from maplesystems.com. But next, I'll show you how to set up these tags and buttons for Modbus communications with the VFD. So to start, what you'll want to do is navigate down here to the network config on COM1. I already have a VFD node here because it is indeed the sample project, but I'm going to hit add, and we'll do VFD demo. And then we'll configure this as a Modbus protocol. Modbus RTU unit is master. Make sure the model is at one word, multiple read, and make sure that the serial settings are the same as what we set on the VFD. In this case, 9600, no parity, 8-bit data, and 1 stop bit. And then I would hit add here, but as you can see, I already have a node here that has everything already set up, and it's called VFD. And then once we have our Modbus node set up, we're going to go into the tag library here. So here we have all of the user-defined tags that we'll need in order to control the VFD. Each of these is going to be tied to a button on our screen, and these will kind of be transferred over to Modbus address registers. So now I've gone ahead and created some tags associated with the VFD. I've done this by hitting add tag here, change the node name to the VFD one, and then enter the tag name as per so. Like for this one, I'll say test. And if you want to use a bit of a holding register, so you'll go to here, and then coil or bit addressed register. And then you'll go to the 4X register here. So in this case, let's say 20, and bit number 5. That'll go to the 5th bit of the 20th 4X register. I'm gonna go ahead and hit close because I don't need this tag, but that's how I've set up some of these register bits. within the 4X registers. All right, so now we're going to navigate to our tasks block here. And as you can see, I've set up a couple of tasks ahead of time. And we're going to go ahead into global tasks. And this is what we're going to use to copy all of our local HMC tags that are controlled by bits on the screen and push those to our VFD so that we can actually control our motor from the HMC screen. So the way we'll do that is through a couple of different global tasks. These global tasks will be running the entire time the HMC is powered on. So we'll start by going from an HMI block to an HMI/PLC block. So this first one will do VFD frequency. And then on the HMI side, we'll do local frequency. And we'll go ahead and add that. And that'll pop it right here in our global tasks list. And so this is how we would move over a word block, a word register from our HMC onto the Modbus server that it's communicating with. If we want to do the same with a bit address, we would actually use a copy tag B, we would actually use a copy tag B to tag A. So first off, let's do tag A, the destination. This is going to be the Modbus server that we're pushing the variable to, which in this case is going to be VFD forward run. And then the source, the local HMC block that we want to get our data from. And that's going to be forward run. Go ahead and hit add, and there you go. Now we've also got our bit address being pushed to the VFD. And finally, I'm not really going to walk in depth through this just because there isn't much to it, but we also have some light logic here just to make sure that forward run and reverse run aren't happening at the same time. But with that, the last thing to do is just to download. So we're going to go to PC communication mode. Make sure that our IP address is correct. If you'd prefer, you can also download through USB here. You would just click USB here. But I'm going to download through Ethernet. I'm going to click download right here. And make sure the IP address is correct. And going to go ahead and hit download. And keep in mind, if this is your first time downloading to your HMC, you'll want to download the firmware first, just to make sure that the firmware is up to date on your HMC. But with this downloaded, I'll meet you in the live demo. So I have my sample project loaded onto the HMC right here. I'm remoting in to my HMC through Real VNC Viewer, and I'm going to be driving everything from the HMC itself, but I also have a separate camera set up on the VFD here, so you can see the readout on there as I change things on the HMC here. So as you can see, I'm going to change it to 20, change the frequency to 40. I'm going to jog it down for a little bit. So now it's 4.75. I'm going to jog it back up to, let's say 33. Landed on an exact number, that's nice. And we're going to go ahead and start. And as you can see, the run light starts flashing on the VFD. Gonna go ahead and turn off start. Gonna flip it to run in reverse. Gonna hit start again, and you'll see that both the run light and the reverse light are on now. Gonna go ahead and turn those off. I'm gonna forward jog at 6 Hertz. I'm gonna reverse jog at 6 Hertz. And there you have it. That's the VFD being driven by this sample project on the HMC through a Modbus connection. That about does it for today. If you'd like a written version of this tutorial, or for more of our integrations tutorials, please visit our integrations page on maplesystems.com. We'd also really appreciate it if you could leave us a like if this video helped you out, or subscribe if you'd like to be notified when we make more videos just like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.